Hi, I'm Tyler Sticka, and this is Colorpeek, a tiny web app I made for seeing and sharing CSS colors really quickly. If you've never used Colorpeek before, it's super simple. All you have to do is enter in the CSS color values that you want to look at. It could be a hex value, for example, or a keyword, RGB, HSL, pretty much anything that you could throw at a style sheet, you can throw at Colorpeek and it'll figure it out. Plus a couple extras. You can throw at stuff like Twitter, Facebook, other brand keywords, etc., etc. That makes it really easy to share. You can just tap the share button up here. You can choose where you want to share it, or you can even export it to a text format. You can also normalize the color values. This is really nice if you happen to receive the colors from disparate sources or different stages in the project. You know what I mean, that sort of thing. Now, Colorpeek makes it a lot easier to see and share colors. Doesn't always make it easier to receive colors. Here's an example. This is the content of a real email that I received for a side project. The designer I was working with needed to share 4 color values. Now I could copy and paste these individually into Colorpeek, and that would work fine, but it's a little tedious, a little boring. With the Chrome extension, all I have to do is select the text and tap the Chrome button. And you can see it's created a Colorpeek right away from those 4 color values that I selected. What's kind of cool about this is that it's also omitted these words. It recognizes that these are probably non-specific prefixes. If I were to select one on its own, you can see that in that case, it's going to actually interpret it as a CSS keyword, which is pretty cool. So that makes receiving these things in emails a lot simpler. But that didn't seem like enough for an extension. You know, it's a small annoyance, but it doesn't, how often is that really going to happen? So I've also added in 2 additional features. Now, Colorpeek has supported for a few months now the ability to drag and drop an image and grab prominent colors from that image. You can see that what I just dropped in was a photo of an adorable puppy. It's got some cool browns and greens in there. And by dragging in the image, I can start a new palette or append all of the prominent colors from that image into a palette. Well, with the Colorpeek for Chrome extension, you can do the same thing with images embedded in a website. For example, here's a cool photo taken by a coworker of mine of Portland, a fall, foggy, werewolfy Portland morning. I can right-click that and do Colorpeek from image, and it does the same thing without having to leave the browser, which is pretty cool. The last feature of the Colorpeek extension for Chrome is the ability to grab recurring colors from style sheets of web pages that you visit. Here I've loaded up the Verge's homepage. It's got a lot of different colors going on. And if I tap this button here, you can see that it's taken all of the CSS colors and it's ordered them by the most common to the least common. There are a bunch of different options you can set. For example, if I want web page colors to exclude shades of gray, I can go ahead and uncheck that box and try this again. And you can see that it's omitted shades of gray. These are just barely not gray. You get the idea. You can also do stuff like change the amount of colors that are returned from images, etc., etc. It's a very geeky plugin, but it's something that's already come in handy a lot for my day-to-day workflow, dealing with colors and getting them from disparate sources, from clients, etc. And I hope it makes using Colorpeek easier for you. Thank you very much.